Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, Throw Down Your Questions, episode 169. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, which I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
That's a brain fart right there. What's up, guys?
Yeah, brain fart because your girlfriend was laughing in the background, threw me off. Carlos Romero,
Yo, what up?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
and Brian Manjoma.
What's up, party people?
All right, so a couple of things here. Adam will be here later. He's watching Royal Rumble, I believe. And Brett has the flu, people. That shit that's going around right now. You know?
There's a shit going around right now?
Yeah, there's like a huge influenza thing going around. That's like the biggest one in years. You know? Manny, you and I are safe because we don't go out.
Oh, yeah, we're a bunch of fucking hermits.
You know? So actually, Brett was double fucked because he got sick over in Hawaii. Then he came back here with his immune system kind of, fucked up, and then he got hit with this,
Yeah, he's just gotta take it easy. Don't stay up late till the crack of dawn like he's been playing with Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
so.
but Brett always stays up till the crack of dawn, though.
You can't. That shit weakens your immune system, man. You gotta at least get a good amount of rest and get it on time, because the more you do that, the weaker you are.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. All right, so as Carlos said before the show, yeah, what is she laughing at back there?
I don't know. She's watching some shit.
Yeah, as Carlos said, we may have a short show for you guys, but if you're in the chat room right now, please ask us some questions. We'll answer them. All right, let's get into it, man. First up is G Megaforce 123. So his first question is: if AMD collapsed or got bought, would the PlayStation and Xbox ecosystems survive? I know this is unrealistic, but in 2015, during the time of AMD's low point in history, Microsoft was considering buying the company when they were worth $1 billion in the market. This also came at a time when AMD had a substantial risk of becoming bankrupt. This is a problem for consoles since they rely on AMD for low-cost x86-64 chips compared to Intel, which charges large amounts of money to purchase. So my question is, if AMD collapsed or got bought out by another company, do you think Sony and Microsoft's ecosystem will survive the fallout?
I think
Ominous. Why do you?
I
why
think
do you
it'll
think
survive it. Well, the thing is that we're talking about AMD. Well, wouldn't they just go to Nvidia?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't. I'll go ahead, Chris.
They also compete with Intel, so they're on two fronts. The graphics front, they compete with Nvidia, but they also make CPUs based on x86, so the Ryzen and all that stuff is competing directly with the i-series Intel chips. So if you lose AMD, Intel has a monopoly on PC CPUs, and that would cause prices to inflate greatly. Like Intel would have nothing holding them back. They'd have no competition, so they could just slow down their update cycle, and they could also charge more for their chips, because right now they have to be competitive against AMD because their chips are usually way cheaper and offer sort of comparable performance, right? So that's where competition is good. You lose AMD, Intel will go hog wild on pricing.
Yeah, so this is all pretty much important because NVIDIA doesn't really do like CPUs like AMD and Intel do. I think what do they do? They do those APUs like the X1 and stuff, the Tegra. So I don't know that. I'm assuming that could be another possibility for Microsoft and Sony. Go the Nintendo route, because Nintendo does uses the NVIDIA Tegra X1, so they might do that. But as far as the big ones that do kind of streamline CPUs, it's between AMD and NVIDIA, and AMD goes down, you might as well get a second job for those new consoles.
Nobody want to go to IBM.
Yeah, Brian, get in here, man. What do you say?
Well, pretty much Chris said exactly what I was going to say, which is, like they are fighting on two fronts. If they do go away, then Intel and Nvidia just have like the field open to them, and I don't trust those guys, even though that I have an AMD. No, I have a Nvidia card. I still don't trust them. But yeah, I don't think they would go away because I think that the Ryzen CPU lineup seems to be holding quite well. Like given the price point and the performance, they seem to be like back in the game slightly. So that's a good indication that they won't. But assuming the hypothetical, um, I think that consoles will just make the jump over to NVIDIA and AMD solutions, like what the not the Wii, the Switch has.
Yeah. What about this? You know, this is me asking you guys because remember back in the old days, right? Every console had its own shit inside, right? They didn't have to rely on anybody for the most part. Would that be would that make a comeback if this hypothetical ever happened? Like Sony's
No.
like, fuck it, we're just gonna do our own thing now.
No, I don't think so because it's too expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's too expensive for the R&D to make your own CPU that's comparable to whatever's in the market. And if you're gonna do R&D for that kind of stuff and production, you have to put that chip on other devices, not just your consoles. You're gonna have to have those on PCs or I don't know, something else, TVs or something like that. So they'd have to use that on other stuff.
So you can't have the cell processor too.
No, I mean, I feel like as the consoles got a lot more complicated, I think they doing that sort of work is it doesn't make any sense,
Another a wild card.
I mean, they could theoretically. I mean, Sony or Microsoft could theoretically design similar CPUs to what Nvidia. I mean, not Nvidia, but AMD used to do. But remember that also AMD owns the rights to that specific type of CPU
architecture.
The architecture, yeah.
Yeah, and they like a wild card could also be Apple. Apple does their own CPUs or APUs. They could I don't know, maybe do something. Maybe they could at Microsoft can team up with Apple and release a console. You never know. But that shit will cost $1,000. So I don't know if that'll be a viable thing.
Just the thought of that is scary,
I don't even know if I don't know if at this point if Microsoft would even do any business with them, but who knows?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question. That is okay. Why? This is an interesting one too. Kind of funny. Why are fishing mini games in RPGs, or specifically open world RPGs, so prevalent? I'm just curious. Not that I hate it, but it just seems like it's almost always the first choice of mini game that developers choose to add to their game, especially in open world. Why? I have a twofold. Yeah, I have a twofold question. I have twofold. I do have a specific question. Is fishing in Western RPGs a thing? I've never seen it. It's mainly a Japanese thing, and the reason for that is very simple. Japanese is a fishing culture, right? So that's part of their culture. So they're gonna have that in every game because people enjoy fishing because it's very much a part of their culture, and it's not just fishing for fish; it's fishing for anything. Why do you think Japanese have a lot of seafood in their diets and stuff? Fishing culture. So that's why you see it in a lot of JRPGs. Western RPGs, never seen it, but I do have a guess for that if it's a prevalent thing, right? A lot of RPGs take place in medieval times, right, or medieval settings or whatever. You fished back then too, especially when you're near lakes and shit. So maybe that's why. But I've never really seen it in like Dragon Age doesn't have fishing, as far as I know.
Does The Witcher have fishing?
I don't know.
Anybody who's played The Witcher, have you ever fished?
I never played that game, so I don't know.
I finished it, but I don't remember doing any fishing of any sorts or being asked to do so.
Yeah, and Zelda did have fishing, Kello.
Like Nier Automata has fishing in it.
Mario's Odyssey has fishing.
Monster Hunter has fishing.
Monster Hunter,
Persona.
Yakuza.
Persona.
Technically speaking, Warframe has fishing. It's not quite fishing, but you stand at the edge of some water and you throw a spear and catch fish. So, technically speaking, it's you getting fish, and those fishes are used for parts. So you could say that, but then it's Warframe and RPG though. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I think he may have been asking about JRPGs, Western ones. Give us some examples, please. But I can't really think of one off the top of my head.
In loot boxes, you fish for hope.
Yeah, we fish for hope. Oh man. Okay, yeah. Miguel says there's no fishing in The Witcher. All right.
See, but there's hunting in The Witcher, right? You can hunt deer, right?
Yes. Sega bass fishing, Japanese, another one. You know.
I'm trying to think if World of Warcraft has a fishing mechanic. I don't think so.
Yeah, we need Brett for that.
Yeah. Chief Tomei says no fish in SOT. I don't know what SOT is.
Oh, Kala asked a good question. Does Red Dead have fishing?
No,
right?
It doesn't. No,
Red
it doesn't.
Dead, you hunted and skinned animals.
Yeah, but you didn't really fish.
You didn't fish in Red Dead. You could certainly blow up fish. I threw dynamite in the river and come out.
Barry Burns says.
But did he take the fish? Though?
No, he didn't take him. You just blow him up.
Yeah, you blew him up.
He didn't like skin him. Man, you stink on the inside.
Barry Burns says Big the Cat is the best fishing character. Remember that shit?
Yeah, another game with fishing in it.
Oh, Sea of Thieves. Does that have? Oh, there's no fishing in Sea of Thieves. Interesting.
In the pirate game?
I mean,
but
yeah,
there's also no fishing. Do you consider whaling fishing? Because they have that in Assassin's Creed. You know.
I don't know if it's because it's a giant fish.
What,
can you fish in general in Assassin's Creed?
No, like you could hunt whales and sharks. There you go. That's a fish, but you're not fishing for it. You're hunting it. You know,
you're throwing a harpoon into it. So
yes.
yeah, it's not like friggin' Ezio just pulls out a friggin' rod and is like, I'm going to go fishing.
I'm gonna catch you the fish.
I catch the fish for you. Western culture in general doesn't. I mean, like, with the exception of like specialized games like Bassmaster and stuff like that, there's fish in those, but I don't see. There's not a lot of Western centric games that have the fishing minigame. I think somebody needs to do that.
Silver Sky says, "Where is the redneck open world with noodling?"
So GT,
you know what noodling is, right?
I have absolutely no idea what noodling is.
That's that thing with the catfish where you stick you find these holes in the ground in the water, and then you stick your hand in it, and the catfish like sucks onto your hand, and you pull it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why? People are weird, man.
I did not know that. Yeah.
People are weird, man. Why would you do that?
I mean, apparently they've been doing that shit for years, like in friggin' Louisiana and stuff like that. They go into like these bogs and like rivers and shit, and the catfish have these holes, or fish have these holes in the ground. You use your feet to kind of check around with there, and then you friggin' stick your hand down the hole. The friggin' fish like sucks onto your hand, and you just go and pull it right out of the hole.
That's
I found
crazy.
one. Fable has a fishing mechanic.
Ah, there you go. There you go. But just the fact we had to search for it lets you know something. By the way, what's going on to the video game? Her Nia, she goes, "We have a tight layout. I'ma steal it. Manny may have some words with you."
Stealing.
Hey man, that's a compliment. You know.
So the question is,
yo man, stealing is not the what is it? The sincerest form of flattery. That's not how it works.
Go ahead, Carlos.
which game has the best fishing mechanic? I think it's Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy 15 is really good because it's very action-y, you know?
Yep.
Real action-y.
And you have to get good on that.
Yeah.
I mean, for Nier, it's very randomized. You just throw the lore in there, and then just eventually you get something. So it's like whatever you get. Monster Hunter, the fishing in that one's actually relatively easy because you can see the fish in the water. You just throw your lure around them, and then they'll come after it. The only thing is that you have to use specific sorts of bait to get different types of fish. So, like in the forest area, in the first level, there's like a little like a little waterfall area with fish in there, and there's one fish as soon as you throw the normal lure in there, he swims away from it. So what you do is you got to buy the special bait for him, and then he'll come and eat that.
Yeah, the fishing in Yakuza's, it's all right. The fishing in Mario Odyssey is, it's very easy, very standard,
Also, by the way, you can totally negate fishing in Monster Hunter just by throwing your net into the water.
Ooh, I made you that.
Just throw that, like you see all the fish there, you just throw the net down in there, and it just pulls up like 5 of them if they're all clustered together.
And the guy that gives you the mission is okay with that?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I mean, I don't know, but that's what I did once. I just pulled a bunch of them out.
Nice. I'm gonna do that. All right, let's move on here. Obviously, we are going fast. No Brett here. But we're okay. Digital Tiger 777. So his first question is: games like Mag with 256 player count and Socom Confrontation on PS3 were better games than PUBG graphically, content wise, fun factor wise. Do you think those former PS3 games would have sold better if they started on PC? And on this other side of it, do you think PUBG would have sold as well if it started on consoles? So let's answer the first part. Brian, didn't everyone hate SOCOM Confrontation?
There were a couple of people that were diehard fans of it because they didn't like the OG trilogy on PS2. So, like, no one just takes them seriously. Yeah, Confrontation was just it had the SOCOM name, but it was not a SOCOM game. They changed up way too much of the formula, so hence why people did not like it. In terms of Mag, I don't recall looking at Mag and what that looked like, so I can't speak on how well that was. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite fun. Would have worked well on PC. It's given the community and given that large many people playing it, the chat would have just been disgusting because people would have just raged with some of the tactics that people had.
And people, when I think Mag came out, 2008 or something like that.
It was the year after Modern Warfare 2. I don't because I remember that because I actually got my PS3 the same day it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, so technically, speaking, Mag was a system seller for me because I actually bought it for that. Well, technically, I bought it for God of War 3, but let's say for Mag instead.
Yeah, and around that time, a lot of people were like heavy into Battlefield. So I don't know if it would still hit because Battlefield had 64 players at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that it had a similar type game. Well, Mag was 120 or something like that.
256.
256?
Yep.
What the hell? I don't even remember that many.
That's the
Yeah.
big
that was the reason it was called Mag, Massive Action Game.
Yeah, it literally had you could have 200 and something people on the friggin' in the game at once.
Oh, I thought it was I knew the name. I just thought it was like 120 for some reason. Okay.
Yep. 256. They had it's split into each map was split into the largest maps were split into north, south, east, and west, and each side had 4 platoons of 8. Hence, you had the math people can do that. But yeah,
So,
256.
How much is what's the maximum on Player Unknown?
I think it's 100. If I remember correctly.
100. So imagine if you had that same sort of idea with something like Mag. You had 200 and something people in this stupid map.
I think it would just get a bit too chaotic because I think that there's a fine limit as to map size and player count, especially if it's battle royale type situation. Again, if you have that many people on mag size maps, then it's pretty much people would die. A good 25% would die in the first 2 minutes. 'Cause again, it's just that dense. So maybe player unknown backgrounds hits that perfect spot of player density. But having 200 people on one map, I don't know. Matches could last a bit too long because I don't know how long PUBG matches last. But if Adam were here, he would tell us, but he's not. But if matches last longer than 20 minutes, then maybe that's an issue. Because again, it means that you need to go in and replay the map and all sorts. So I don't know. I don't know enough about PUBG and how that flows. Make a good statement. But to answer the question, if Mag and SOCOM were on PC, they may have fared slightly better. They may have not have killed off the studio, so maybe yes. But then, yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. No more SOCOM games.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to this, to be honest. I played Mag. Mag was bullshit. And Socom, I never cared for those games anyway, so I really can't say. Anybody else want to jump into that part of the question? Would these games have done better on PC?
I would. I mean, I agree with Brian on this. I definitely think that they would have done a lot better on PC. Done quite a bit better. I mean, wasn't really many games that were boasting, that many players on the friggin' PC, with the exception of, for a few games. So, I mean, I think the PC gamers would have been a lot more appreciative of the sheer amount of people in those games. And for SOCOM, I mean, that last one, as Brian said, was a piece of booty butt cheek. So I dabbled in the SOCOM series, and the original ones are the bee's knees, and that one was like, ugh, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah. And I guess on the flip side, would PUBG have done as well if it came out on consoles? Apparently, it would have, because look at the way it's doing on Xbox. 4 million people now, man.
I would say that's a little bit, a little. I don't know if that'll be. You know why? Because think about it. Already, PUBG had already this big following behind it, so people already knew about the game before the damn thing, was actually released. So I feel like I think it wouldn't have fared as well on the Xbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he did say consoles.
Consoles.
So, and remember, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think PUBG took off immediately, because it came out in March. I think it was during the summer when it really started popping off. So I'm going to guess that it would have done, maybe not 20 million, but it would have done very, very well, because, again, $30 game, why not, right? Just jump in there. I think it would have done well. It would have taken a little while. It wouldn't have gotten like 4 million, because you're right about that. It's like the reason it got 4 million Xbox is because it had that name recognition already. It would need to build that. So I would say PUBG would have done well, but not 20 million well.
I don't know. I still think that it wouldn't have done that great, because if you think about it, like we're talking console gamers, right? A lot of console gamers are mostly superficial when it comes to it. If the game doesn't look really good, most, or at least to a certain point, they won't even bother with that shit.
What about Payday the Heist? Those games look like shit, and they always do well.
They do well for what they are. I mean, they're not really like they're not like super expensive games.
Yeah, neither is PUBG. Neither is PUBG. You pay $30 for a game, whatever.
Those Payday games are not making PUBG numbers, though.
No, they're not. But the point is, console gamers will deal with that stuff, and they're very passionate about it. Because again, my thing is, and I think you and I have a bit of a problem understanding it, because we don't like this type of game. But if it's the same game, people would still clutch onto it. I have to believe that. I refuse to believe the same person that likes PUBG is going to go, it's on consoles. I snub my nose at it. They won't do that.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, I don't know if the people that snub it, but I think that it would definitely not have the numbers that it has.
No, I'm not. No one's saying it has the numbers. I'm saying it's not going to do. I'm saying it would have done very well. Not 20 million. That's not going to happen. I would still say it would have done a good 3 or 4 million over the course of a year.
Because it's like it's a kind of, if you build it, they will come sort of situation. Yeah. I mean, and
you don't think that would happen on consoles? If you build it, they will come.
I think they will come, but I don't think it will be nearly. Like you're saying, is like I don't think it will be nearly as popular as it is. To be honest, I would think it would just be doing some Payday numbers, and Payday numbers they're good, but they're not great.
Yeah,
they're enough to keep the company afloat.
Yeah. Anyway, what do the rest of you guys think?
I agree. I mean, Mag probably would have had a longer life and better player base on PC, considering its size. PUBG seems weird. I don't even know what to think. Like, I think it would have just done well. It seemed to hit some sort of sweet spot. I don't even know what to call it. Like the Overwatch effect. It worked either way.
Yeah, that's what I believe. It was going to work either way. Maybe not the same numbers, but it was going to work either way, Yeah. Miguel asked a troll question. Which one's going to do more, God of War or Labo, which was gonna sell more. Oh man,
Probably Labo.
probably.
Not even joking.
Yeah, you know, cardboard people, $80 cardboard. All right,
$80 cardboard.
that's crazy.
That's the trick.
Um,
How to get into gaming? Just make some fucking cardboard and call and name yourself Nintendo.
another little side question. Kristen asked, who told Capcom they could have adorable cat people in their game?
They've always had adorable cat people in the game. It's just now everybody's paying attention.
Yeah, man.
Oh, they look less dopey now. I think they look a little cooler.
They always look the same. They're like if you saw Trenya from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
Peace Walker,
well,
that's
Kristen,
same thing.
I was telling her that, but she's just never played Peace Walker, dude. I told her that was in there, but
Yeah, there's a like you get to fight a Rathalos. In fact, it's the way you fight. The hilarious thing about that whole situation and Monster Hunter and Metal Gear is literally they didn't change the fucking controls. It's just Metal Gear control shit with Monster Hunter monsters in it. And it's the same sort of crawl too. It's like you have good equipment, you have that really good machine gun, you can blow off the friggin' scales, and then you can use your mother base research facility to make yourself new weapons.
yeah.
Same shit.
Yeah, Hussein, please, man, ask us some questions, man. We are taking them live. All right, next question from Digital Tiger. If you could make, this is an interesting question. If you could make any one first-person game into a third-person game and vice versa, which game would it be? So he's basically saying, like, for example, like, what like, would you make Call of Duty third-person? Would you make God of War first-person? Shit like that. So I guess, like, gaming gender bending. I don't know. Genre bending.
Genre bending, yeah.
Yeah, I did actually mean to say gender bending. Go ahead, Ben.
I would say Halo is a third person. That'd be interesting. And I would say, and just for the hell of it, like, can you get away with doing a hack and slash game in third person?
In first person.
In first person, yeah.
I don't know.
What if Horizon Zero Dawn was first person? Might be interesting.
I don't think it would work as well because
The platforming sections might be the issue.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff you need to notice in your surroundings.
Far Cry Primal. Done.
Yeah, that's
Far
true.
Cry Primal.
With Far Cry Primal, because it's mostly the same in terms of ideas and hunting and whatnot.
Well, I had an ironic answer. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, right. In third person.
Yeah, just to see like how it would look, because I mean, obviously the first person works pretty well, but it'd be an interesting, and I'm pretty sure it'd be kind of a new experience to experience it in third person as well.
You want to hear something insane about that game?
Do it.
The characters, you know how you can actually look down and see your body, right?
Yeah.
The way they designed that game, you can actually pull the camera back and see they literally built a character. So essentially they built the game kind of like a third person game and mounted the camera inside the person's head.
Well, they have no head.
Yeah, they have no head. They're just invisible heads.
Yeah, they just have bodies.
They just have bodies.
So just put a head on them, move the camera back, and you're
Move
good.
the camera back. There you go.
Yeah, my answer is a little interesting because I'm just being real right now. I don't like the first person view, so make every game that's first person, third person, and I'll be happy. I don't really like first person, so I also wouldn't do the reverse either. I would not take a third person game and make it first person. That's horrible, so I wouldn't do that. So yeah, that's me.
Imagine Doom third person.
Actually, yeah, you're right about that. Doom,
Yeah, Doom worked really well.
Yeah, that's true. Doom works better as a first-person game. That is true. I guess that's a good example then, because usually I'm just like, make it all third-person.
Wolfenstein would have worked good in third person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he takes cover. Doom is more active. Like Wolfenstein, you're constantly like hiding and taking. Might as well have played it like Gears of War.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, I
Doom,
think I
yeah.
would have preferred it third person.
Funny you bring up Doom because Doom was always like my like prototype for the best first person game ever. I'm talking about the original one too. It's like no first person games beating this shit until the new Doom came out. You know. I know people are getting sick of it. What the fuck's wrong with you, Tony? It's all Call of Duty, man.
Yeah, I don't think Call of Duty would work in third person because Call of Duty is a Twitch shooter.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
Like I don't think the recipe would be that would work that well as third person. People wouldn't flock to that game like they do right now if it was third person.
Yeah, there was a mode in Modern Warfare 2 where it was like third person game and it looked and played very odd. Let's say that much.
Here's another one.
Yeah, to answer the question, actually, I have no idea. Like,
thank you, Daniel J, with the
honestly
money as always,
trying to
brother.
think.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Brian. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to think of like what games make sense, like switching around from first to third and third to first. But I honestly can't think of anything. Like the only thing that has come to mind is Killzone, as that you take cover in, and maybe Far Cry. But everything else, I don't think. I can't see it working in the other perspective. That's the thing.
I would say Deus Ex.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, you know, it doesn't really need to be in first person. The only reason why it's in first person is just because of the
original,
the original one, right? I mean, in the later games, they even go to show you undercover, hiding behind cover. The camera pulls back to show you there.
Yeah.
You know, might as well just make it a third person game.
I got another one, and we've talked about this in the past. Mirror's Edge should have been third person. Come on now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would have been an interesting game, but the whole gimmick to begin with Mirror's Edge was that it was a first person like platformer.
But it didn't work very
thing.
well. That's the problem. You know.
So the minute you make Mirror's Edge third person, you know what you get? Remember me?
No, I don't remember you because nobody remembers that game.
That game was a good game. Brian will agree.
Yep, it was a good game. It was fun.
I don't even remember that game. I'll be honest. Wait, hold on. That's the game with the black cyborg girl, right?
She's not really a cyborg.
No, she was.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, she is because she's got some crazy like future shit.
Yeah, okay.
Like the Matrix.
Gotcha. For some reason, I was when you said "Remember Me," I was thinking about that Ubisoft game that was like right after an earthquake hit like a large city. For some reason, I thought about that. I forgot the name. Remember, it was like hyped up, and they just released as a little indie game because they just stopped caring about it. I forgot the name of it.
What game's this?
I Am Alive. I Am Alive.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. Hey, thank you guys for asking us questions. Perfect, because we're about to end the show soon. You know. All right. Moving on here, Mr. Black Metal Gamer. So his first question is: if Xbox Game Pass is a success, do you think Microsoft games will increase or decrease in quality? As a matter of fact, I'm going to tie in Hussein's question into this one too. He asked, will Xbox first-party games now have direct-to-DVD quality? Yo! So yeah, what do we think about the quality of these games now, man?
That the quality will drop if it becomes a big thing?
No, because, no, will the quality drop if they're just, because think about it like this, right? Now, essentially, you could just buy an Xbox game for $10, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think it'll.
Yeah.
I don't think it will affect the game. Certain games, you know what I mean. Like Halos will always be Halos, but I think there is also a better chance of there being a lot of lighter sort of experiences through Microsoft. Like in other words, they can turn in some games that are just they're not like super long experiences, and people wouldn't give too much of a shit. Well, hopefully they won't. I mean, they could put in a 6-hour game and people won't be like, this game is... Here's one thing about it. They could theoretically also make Xbox Game Pass exclusives.
They can.
Like, in other words, a game that you can't get on the store and a game that you can't buy, you can't buy in a store, you can't buy it on their store. It's only available on their thing. on their service.
Well, for me, I don't think they'll degrade in quality. I mean, that's unless you guys think they're already degraded in quality, anyways. But
Yeah,
regardless of that, they can't, because first they have to sell a digital copy, anyways. They're not going to stop doing that, and two, the gaming community is really fickle. Like if people throw out bullshit, they won't, like, people pay, like, they're not as brainwashed as we think, as a lot of people think they are, or we are. So if they release bullshit, people aren't just not gonna buy it. I think a lot of gamers reside on critical acclaim more than any other mediums. Like, for example, movies. Like, you can have a movie that does like 20% on the Rotten Tomato meter, and it'll still do $1 billion in the box office, like Transformers. But if you have a game that does, I don't know, like a 20 on Metacritic, it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a game like that selling over 1 million, let alone tens of millions.
it's because of the amount of money that you essentially have to pay for a movie. I mean, not a movie compared to a game. You know, even now, like, granted, like, movies are like $20 now. Theoretically, you know, when you're talking about games, it's like a $60 investment. You know, for a lot of people, that's still a lot of money. So obviously, if you're going to go and look at the ratings and stuff to make your final call on it, and I definitely think you're right, Carlos.
Yeah. That's why what's it called? Like, it's funny because well, they're essentially lowering the, like what Tony said, they're essentially lowering the price to $9 for new games. But yeah, it'll suck if that was the only option, then maybe, but they still have to sell those physical copies.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But it does give you that one thing that people have always been talking about. It's like, okay, if you have a digital copy of a game, why the fuck does it cost $60? And the only reason why, we said this before, is because of retail stores. So this is definitely like Microsoft kind of stepping down and being like, well, we're not, we have on our main store, we have them $60. But if you decide to go with our service, 10, and they get a bunch of games. It's kind of like the way Netflix works. It's like how Netflix is not officially stepping on any brick and mortar stores or Amazon's toes. They may have, let's say for the sake of conversation, they have Blade Runner early, right? That's not really in that much of a competition with Amazon because people still buy it on there. And they're saying like, well, we do have Blade Runner on here, but we also have a bunch of other films on here too.
Remember when Netflix used to actually send you movies?
They still do.
They still do.
Really? I thought they got... Hey, Adam, sneaking in
man,
the cut.
Sneaking in like Tori Wilson at Royal Rumble.
That was horrible. 4 hours, man. 4 hours I was on that shit. I was like...
Oh, it's like an episode of WrestleCast then.
Yeah, that is true. We went 3.5, I think, this week.
Damn, you guys go hard, son.
Oh my god. You know what? It goes fast though. It just happens. We didn't even think about it. But yeah, this Ronda Rousey showed up. Spoiler. Bam.
Who the fuck's that?
That's the chick from UFC, the MMA girl.
Oh, okay.
She showed up wearing Piper's gear because she was close to Roddy Piper.
Did she fuck anybody up?
Yeah. No, she came at the end just to point at WrestleMania. Basically, the woman that won Oscar was there, and the 2 women champions from different shows. So the winner gets to pick who she wants to fight at WrestleMania, and she's there staring at them. And then this music hits. I forgot the song. It's a popular song. It's like, I don't give a damn about my reputation. It's a known song. They must have paid out the ass for that shit. Ronda Rousey comes out, doesn't say a word, gets in the ring, tries to shake hands. No one wants to shake her hand. She points at Mania and walks out. There you go.
Crazy.
But it was 4 hours, man. Too long. Too fucking long.
All right. Let's see. Where the fuck were we? Okay. Next question. Do you think Monster Hunter World could be Capcom's big cash cow this year? Yes.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm hyped for Mega Man 11, but it ain't gonna sell numbers like this game is, Let's just be honest here. And Street Fighter 5, you know, they finally got it to where it's supposed to be, but that's not going to be bringing in that much money, you know?
Yeah, and I'll go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, I was saying that ship has sailed. They screwed that launch. That you can't make first impressions. You can't get fooled again. So that's out the door. You got Dragon Ball fighters now. Like people moved on. People moved on from Street Fighter. And Resident Evil is wrapped up. Like the last 2 DLCs, the one with punching Grandpa Joe and Chris Redfield. That's it. So Resident Evil 7's done. So that this is all Capcom's writing on now.
Yeah, it's a Monster Hunter by default. Let's just be real here, you know?
Yeah, and this is a multi-platform game that has critical acclaim, and everyone loves it. So it's destined to like sell a lot.
I heard that it's doing really well on like the Metacritics.
Yeah, Metacritic has got like a 90-something. Right now.
Yep, last time I checked, it was like 91. Checking again, yeah, still 91. Damn,
That's crazy.
it is crazy.
You guys like playing it all together, right? You like
Oh yeah, the
doing
game is
all that
fun as
hunting.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Game is fantastic.
With or without dinosaurs.
Yeah, right.
You can shoot the dinosaurs with guns, so you should be happy about that one.
Just kill those shits.
Yeah, man,
There's a
that's what we
reason
do.
they're
We kill
extinct.
a
Always
whole
remember
bunch
that.
of them.
There's a reason they're extinct.
Yeah, because we killed them all, right? Fred Flintstone is shit.
Hit them in the head with a brick. Throw a rock.
Oh, just a quick, you know, I'm answering some of these quickie little questions here. Cacophony asks, what happened to the Super NT unboxing? You had to take it down, brother. Analog said, take that shit down. So that's what we did, you know. We'll put another new one back up when we actually can have it up there, you know. I kind of misunderstood what they said, because they said you could show it off on social media. I'm like, yeah, that's a video. I'm not reviewing it. But, you know, they didn't want that. You got to honor whoever, when they send you shit, you got to honor that, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, for those of you who've got you got essentially for a preview of the Super NT until finally the embargo lifts on that, and that's when we'll do another one, you know, another live show, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna actually review it that time, you know, so that'll be good. All right, what's going on, Damien? I'm guessing you got power back, so that's good. You know, in the Virgin Islands,
lost power?
Yeah, in the Virgin Islands, they got fucked up with all those hurricanes, man.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he was in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, man, they got fucked up. You know, so I'm glad he has power again. He get mad at us again now. You know. Okay, what the fuck were we? I don't think we need to add more to that. It's gonna be Monster Hunter. They got nothing else coming out. You know.
Yeah, that's gonna be their thing, and then their DLC system is a lot of it is just what do they call it? Like cosmetic stuff. Like it's not stuff that'll like destroy everything else. It's like, hey, look, you get a Street Fighter outfit. Hey, look, you get a little Aloy outfit to cover over the thing. You know, it's just stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, everybody asking questions now. We will get to you. Thank you for asking them too. You're elongating the show. All right. Next question here for Mr. Dan. Yeah, actually, right now we're in the part where we're answering all the questions we're getting from here. 2 questions from Daniel J and Hussein that are similar. They're asking about the Xbox app. Daniel J said, do you really think we might see an Xbox app on the PlayStation someday? I only think this would happen if they pull out of the hardware market. Where is this coming from, by the way? Because they're both asking the same type of question. Where's this coming from?
It's just if they go as a service.
Oh, you mean full? Oh, yeah. Well,
No, I don't think so. As for the pure reason, I think if they're going to keep their game as a service, you're probably just going to keep it through other things. It's going to probably appear in Windows. It's going to probably appear if they do a console. That'll be the Xbox, you know, portion of that service, and anything kind of like the way Sony did, where they just stuck it into TVs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So will we see Xbox app on the Sony TV?
No, I mean, here's the thing: you probably won't see it on the Sony TV, but you probably could get it in one of those little dongles, right?
But I bet you can.
Well, wait, no. Okay, here's the thing: if it was on one of those dongles or in the TV, then that would mean that the television would have to download the game. No, that would be a PlayStation Now situation.
Well, like and Game Pass isn't like PlayStation Now. It's not a streaming service, really.
No.
Like it's
not at all. It's actually you're downloading the file of the game
and processing it.
And yeah, it's essentially it's on your console, unlike PlayStation Now where it's running through the cloud.
But if you can remote in, since PlayStation does have a browser, and you can remote into a PC that's running the game and has it installed, you could probably play it that way. The remote, yeah, it's possible.
Well, yeah, you can do that right now.
That's what I'm saying. You can do it.
I can get my TV and connect it to like display what's on my PC, and then my PC is screen sharing what's on my Xbox. I can play like that. But yeah, I don't think so. The closest it'll get to is the Xbox app on the PC. I think that like we might get Game Pass there. Do we already have Game Pass on that? I don't even know.
On PC, no, it's only on Xbox right now.
Yeah,
Xbox Game Pass is only on Xbox.
Wasn't that the whole thing with they have to get the license rights from those publishers to have it on another platform, which is the PC? And right now, that license rights is only paying for the Xbox.
Makes the sense.
Chris, what do you say?
Listen, I don't even understand the logic with Game Pass the way they're working it now. So, because I think that unless they're gonna go full digital after this, like this is pointless because you're only gonna hurt your relationship with the retailers. Not that I give a shit, but I think if you're gonna go full on digital, then just do it.
Yeah, remember, you gotta go full retard. Well, you never go full
No,
retard.
no, you never go
No,
full
you never go full
But-
retard.
But this isn't retarded though. That's the thing. It's like it's
close. It could hurt a lot of businesses. A lot of people could lose money in this if this falls apart on both ends. Because if this doesn't work, this also hurts, and it could burn that bridge with retailers.
well,
What was
yeah,
it?
but
Yeah.
well, retailers are going the way of the dodo anyhow. I think between Amazon and all this stuff, like going into a Best Buy or wherever and buying a game to me is silly at this point. So there's that, and then certain retailers won't give up gaming. Like, what is GameStop going to do? It's going to become Toy Stop, like even though they already have.
I've already done that.
Yeah, yeah,
Funko stop.
exactly. So I think Microsoft is in a stronger bargaining position than they are.
So their bargaining posture is not highly dubious.
No. I mean, the retailers, them like honestly, if you don't get younger guys in the store, what's a guy gonna go in? A younger guy gonna go into Best Buy for? He's buying all his electronics and shit online. Maybe he goes in like he could pre-order games, so they pre-order bonuses and all that shit to get these guys in the store, so they can upsell them on stuff. If Microsoft goes, screw it, we're just gonna do all this stuff digitally. We don't need the kiosk anymore. We're gonna realign our marketing and promotions to do this. Then really, who loses? Not Microsoft.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Where the hell are we? We got a bunch of more questions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Fuck are we? Okay. Hussein, another one. Okay, what are your thoughts on the recent speculation that Google is entering the console market?
It's kind of been a
doubt it.
rumor for a long time.
Man.
Doing tablets.
So, and I said, I said before, no, not gonna happen. Like I cannot. I'll let you get your turn. Don't worry. I cannot imagine how another console could succeed with like essentially 3 healthy consoles right now. We've never seen having 3 healthy consoles already an aberration. We've never seen that before. 4? I don't think so, man. Google, I know they got money and all that shit, but what the fuck are they gonna market? They're gonna have their Call of Duty on that shit. So I don't know. That's not gonna happen. Go ahead, Manny.
You know that there are on Google Play there are actually a shitload of console games on there.
I understand, but but here's my thing: why would you buy the Google console if you have an actual console already? That's what I want to know. Like, what incentive do you have?
I think maybe it's. I don't think it at this point in time it's a thing that gamers would be that interested in. You know what I mean? Like if they had that, if they were installed in that way, that's why I'm sure that even that Amazon console that they're supposedly keep talking about is not really going to do that much. So I think it's just going to be I don't think Google's going to do a console per se. I think they're just going to do, like their video games are a part of their ecosystem thing. Like, hey, look, on Google Play, you can get blah, blah. In fact, you can get Metal Gear Solid 2 on Google AirPlay for some wacky reason.
Jump in, guys. What do you say?
No, I highly doubt it. And even if they did, they'd have to run it in their own ecosystem, so it'd be an Android device, right? So I don't see them making a console as the PS4 and Xbox One exists. Maybe something mobile because they're all in tablets and phones, right? They have the Nexus that does well for them. So really, who would toes they'd be stepping on would kind of be Nintendo's if they were to do that, because they might make something similar to the Switch, but tie it into Google Play, all that stuff. So that might be interesting. That's what I could see them doing, but that's hugely hypothetical. I doubt they would get into the gaming market.
Yeah, I don't know. Too far fetched. Brian, what do you say, man? Mr. Brian. This guy's playing Warframe. Oh well.
I can't do a Brian accent, but for me, I don't think they will. It's too there's too much competition in that avenue. Someone would need to go down, and I don't see anybody going down anytime soon. So, because we talked about Apple, Amazon possibly, and Google's the same. Like these guys need like a secure way to get into the market where their console will be viable, because we've never had 4 consoles be successful at the same time in a generation that I can remember.
We never had 3 until last gen,
Yeah, so, there's always one that's lagging behind that people don't consider like the main. Like, oh no, that's not up to par.
Yeah.
So,
but even this gen, all 3 of them are viable. Like, even the Switch just came out, but
well, think about that. Is it really? On par with the Xbox and the PlayStation and sales? Yeah, but when it comes to quality, I don't think so.
But that's a different conversation, though. We're talking about sales here. That's how you determine success,
So if that's the case, then they're up there.
All right. Brian dipped out. Shit.
Yeah.
Trouble in England.
The queen cut his internet, man.
Oh, shit.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in on this question?
I don't think it's going to happen. It's too cluttered, that market, and Google has their hands in other markets that are failing. They're still struggling with the phone, trying to get that off the ground. And YouTube is great and all, but it's really not turning a profit.
Wait, they're struggling with what phone?
Their phone, their Google phone. The Google phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's not selling. It had all these issues. We talked about that before. It was having all these issues.
Oh, but they own Android, so
yeah,
they're gravy. Those dudes doing mad money with that shit. But yeah, they need to get Google Fiber in my house. That's what I need.
On my TV?
On my TV, son, with my fiber cable.
Oh man! All right, let's move on here. What's going on, Damien? He doesn't like the chat. He says they're too Sony friendly. Let's be real. The Switch is a new handheld. Yeah, it is a new handheld. Kind of. Even as a console, too. Nintendo markets it as a console. All right, so Chief Tome. So he's asking us, do you think God of War, the new God of War, will have quick time sex scenes like God of War 3? Now that we got a closer camera, no way in hell is that gonna happen. No way, not in this day and age.
Not after that one trophy that happened from God of War Ascension. Hell no.
But let's just be honest. Let's say that whole fiasco with the bros before hoes trophies never happened. Let's say it never happened. This game still wouldn't have sex mini
it
game
would
in
still
it.
wouldn't have it. No.
Not in this day and age. People, the fucking the internet riots would be insane. You know.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. It ain't happening, people. You know. Do we need to add any more to that? It's a no.
No.
This game doesn't need bad publicity, so they're gonna veer away as far as they can from that kind of stuff now. Fortunately.
You could get away with that 10 years ago when the market was different, but nowadays with certain people, I'm not gonna say names, certain people pushing an agenda, you can't do that.
I'll just say this: Shinatsky mentioned one of them.
Oh man, you can't do it nowadays, man. You can't have fun in games anymore. All right.
It's not that you can't have fun in games. It's more like certain type of people are trying to control the thoughts of other people. I mean, the thing is that you got to think about like if you're going to have these sorts of things inside of games, you do have to build some sort of context. And I feel that's the biggest issue that's happening now, where it's like they're not seeing certain people are not seeing this stuff as entertainment, and people knowing that it's not real or it's not advocating for any of this sort of stuff. But they see it as dangerous.
Yeah, because you can't have people look at things you don't want. Very, very draconian McCarthy. A lot of bad shit going on. Very 1984-ish. Got to control people's thoughts now.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that there's always a fine line between trying to do good and then it becomes thought control, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's scary, man. All right, next question here from Nico Bellic 4.
Nico Bellic.
Nico Bellic.
Brother Nico.
Roman. All right, his question is: do you guys think that Sony's going to do their own version of Game Pass?
Not anytime soon.
If it does well, I mean, I would definitely see Sony doing something sort of similar. But for Sony to do Game Pass, it would be a lot more difficult for them to do it, because we're talking about going back into the Sony catalog and essentially redeveloping every single game to run on PlayStation 4. That's not an easy task.
Yeah, I don't know. They already have PS Now. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, and they spent a lot on PS Now.
Yeah,
they bought a whole company.
Yep.
Yeah.
They would essentially have to say that the whole Gaikai thing was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow if they want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good. Game Pass is way better than PS Now, so if they do it that way, I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
By the way, I kind of skipped the question, but I don't know who asked it, so we'll go to that one next. This one's gonna get Silver Sky mad at us though. The next question is, what are your expectations for Days Gone? You already know, man. We already know.
Yeah, we're gonna get in trouble on that one. I don't know. Personally, I don't. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be out there, but I feel like the zombie thing in sort of games is kind of running its course. You know what I mean? Like, I think people are getting. I mean, even like they're not even talking about a new Walking Dead game.
They are. It's coming.
They are.
Yeah,
Really?
the last season is coming. The last one.
See what they're doing, but see what they're doing. It's the last season because they're probably noticing a general drop off on those games.
Oh yeah.
I think people in general are kind of getting a little bit over zombies. But who knows? Maybe we could be wrong. But I feel like at this point in time, Days Gone, the only thing that it has showing for it is the fact that it has the sheer amount of zombies and types of zombies that exist in this game. But to be honest, it just looks like another, hey, we're in the post-apocalyptic world. Humanity is a bunch of fuck-ups, and we can't get along with each other. Oh no, zombies!
It's got to be a fresh approach, and that's it. Hopefully, it is. We don't know too much. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, we know there's a lot of running and a lot of zombies, and that cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We saw it in Dead Rising. That looked cool. That was a big selling point for it, and that and having all the crazy weapons. But we'll see. I'm sure as it gets closer to release date, whenever that is, we'll see more and really see if they've changed it up. If not, then it becomes a generic zombie game.
Yeah,
So.
we'll see about that. And another question from Mr. Damien, which is actually related to this. What's the difference between Days Gone and The Last of Us?
Story. That's. I mean, we don't even need to see anymore. Just to know. We know the history of Naughty Dog, so we know that story's going to be badass. I can't see anyone topping that.
So you're saying the difference is the quality, right? One's gonna have
Yeah, the quality of the storytelling. The quality of the storytelling. I mean, I don't know much about how Days Gone is going, but we know Naughty Dog, and we know how they do their games, especially with the Uncharted series and even The Last of Us, the first one. I mean, I just can't see them going downhill. Even with all the people leaving Naughty Dog right now, I still have faith in them. That they're gonna bang out an awesome game, maybe in 2020. I don't see it coming out anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I think the difference is the sheer number of zombies. And let's just be honest, those things in The Last of Us are zombies. I don't care what anybody. Oh, but they have the whatever. Zombies, get out of here.
Yeah, they're zombies.
They're fucking zombies. So gameplay wise is going to be different in that respect. You can have like hundreds of thousands of zombies, and Last of Us a little bit more laid back, more subdued. Not an action game, you know.
And I think Days Gone. They've said that Days Gone is kind of an open.
And
world
Days Gone is open world.
Yeah.
Last of Us is not open world at all. You know. So that's actually a huge difference right there. That makes everything completely different because it's very dynamic. Everything changes. So
Here's a question I had with that. Remember when we saw that trailer and it looked like it was a guy from it was Daryl from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Right? He's on a motorcycle. Now, if you got all these zombies, right, that can run that fast and swarms like that, would you really be driving around a motorcycle like that? Wouldn't that lure them?
A noisy
ass motorcycle, and be like, "Hey, Jimmy, what's up? What, Jimmy? Where are you?" And he's getting eaten, and there's a shitload of these zombies running. It's just like, oh, bad idea with this bike, I guess. It's like, I don't know. That part threw me off. Because he's sneaking afterwards. But I'm like, yo, you're on a noisy ass bike, and now you're sneaking? Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you would want a bike to like lure zombies with all that noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian's back. Hey, Brian, everything all right over there in England, man?
Use a bicycle.
Hey, Brian, can you hear us?
He's probably having some issues.
The Queen is mad tonight, man.
Yeah, send out Prince
How about
Henry.
now?
Oh, there you
There
are.
we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yep, everything all good. Just had some technical difficulties. I accidentally hit yes on restart when it was like, hey, you have updates. So I'm like, restart now.
Oh,
I accidentally
shit.
hit yes instead of no. It's like, okay, cool. We're restarting. Like, for fuck's sake, stupid computer.
I hate it when they come before the show. It's like, yo, I'm trying to do the show, man. Don't update now.
It's because it tries to do it at night. That's why you couldn't go into settings and set it for like 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I
you'll
do
never see
now.
that.
Yeah, I have it at like 3 a.m. or something,
Yeah.
All right, so we answered that one. So where the hell are we now? Again, we're getting a lot of questions. Actually, this last one is from me.
Whoa! Who is this? Who is this Tony Polanco?
Okay, because I asked this on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, that would be a good question for Throwdown Your Questions, because I was thinking about this, right? And as usual, I was thinking about this in the bathroom. I'll just leave it at that, right? Okay.
Nice.
On the toilet.
So how there's overlap between PlayStation and Xbox gamers, right? And there's overlap between Nintendo and PlayStation gamers. What overlap is there between Nintendo and Xbox players? I couldn't find any. I got some good answers on Twitter, but when I thought about it, I'm like, like, it seems like PlayStation's that console that caters to a broader audience. Meanwhile, Nintendo's on one camp, Xbox is another, and I'm like, what do they possibly, like, for example, let me give you an example. PlayStation and Nintendo guys, they have RPGs in common. They have Japanese games in common. And PlayStation Xbox guys, they have AAA games in common, right? What the fuck do Nintendo and Xbox guys actually?
I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now. Nostalgia. they've all grown up on these older games. If you're a gamer, then you've played those type of games before, so you're more open to getting that. I know a few people that are just all Xbox and they have a Switch. They don't have a PlayStation. They hate PlayStation, all that, but they have a Switch. And then I'm like, oh, so why did you like this? Oh, well, because nostalgia. It's Mario and all that stuff. I like that stuff. That brings back memories of when I was a kid. So they're cool with it. And for them, that's out of that whole feud of the console wars. They don't see it as the same thing. So that's why, from the people I know, that's why they get into it. Just a nostalgia.
Yeah, it's interesting you said it because that's kind of the answer I got from some people. They say that Xbox gamers and Nintendo gamers all live in the past, so that's what they have in common.
Oh man,
Damn bird, Go down the line here, Manny. What do you say? What do you think is the overlap?
I'm actually I'll agree with that, with the nostalgia of the it's like the nostalgia point that Adam gave, but I also feel like, and I said this online on Twitter, I thought it was also the indie part of it is the connection, maybe a bit of a connection, because there's this, at least before, Xbox used to be the place where every single indie used to go. That would be like, I can't remember any of them.
We had what you call it? Oh my god, the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, Xbox
Wednesday.
Live Arcade. So
Yeah.
a lot of the indies showed up on there, and in fact, a lot of those indie games are eventually going to be showing up on Switch. So I feel like that was the connection, where it's like they kind of all those guys have kind of made the next eventual step. They probably would have given their left friggin' foot to be on a Nintendo console back in the day. So I definitely think that's what it is. What the go-between is.
Yeah, I replied to you that was definitely true in the 360 era. Xbox One era, not so much. Remember, Xbox guys made fun of PlayStation guys for having so many indies on PS4.
Yeah, which is hilarious because Xbox use arcade, man.
It's interesting.
Somebody's got some bird memory.
Yeah, Chris, get in here, man. What do you think? Is there overlap? Is there any?
Yes, there's overlap. There's huge overlap. They both hate Sony. and both as companies and as consumers. Like, go to a Nintendo event or anywhere and look for them using a Sony TV or anything. You'll never see it. They don't buy anything Sony inside of Nintendo. They will buy Panasonic and Samsungs and whatnot. They won't buy Sony TVs, Vios, the cameras, nothing. They won't touch Sony. They don't like Sony at all.
I find that interesting because Nintendo was the one that fucks Sony over. It wasn't the other way around,
Yeah, it's true, but there's a corporate hatred of Sony. Like, they don't like Sony, and they don't use any of their stuff corporate. They won't buy anything else. Sony makes a ton of other electronics. They won't buy any of it. Nothing. They won't use it. And Microsoft, Xbox fanboys hate Sony, so I don't. Microsoft as a company probably doesn't give a shit, but the rivalry's there.
Well, Minecraft is on a friggin' Sony console, so
yeah. Well, Microsoft, it's dollars to them, So
and there is a couple of Sony products that are also on Microsoft.
Hey, Chris, Hussein wants to know, why does Nintendo have such hatred for Sony?
It probably goes back to, like you said, the Philips deal. It goes back to the Super Nintendo CD triangle, that fiasco, and really Nintendo's to blame for that, because they made a backdoor deal with Philips to develop and screwed over Sony, which then Sony went and made the PlayStation and completely walloped everyone. I mean, by the time you get to PlayStation 2 is legendary. Just just steamrolled the Dreamcast, everyone. Made the GameCube like non-existent. It, like, Nintendo created their own worst enemy, and in like this bitter spite, they have written them off corporately.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, Nintendo actually did create the worst enemy in Sony. Very interesting. Another answer I got a lot online was Rare, which kind of makes sense. Rare games used to be, started off on Nintendo. Then they went over to Microsoft, and Microsoft didn't do anything with them. But so there's
they
that
have it in
overlap.
common, but has Rare done anything
No, they
of
haven't.
note when they got bought by freaking Microsoft?
I mean, they're coming out with Sea of Thieves, but yeah, no, I kind of feel that connection is a little tenuous. You know what I mean? It's not.
Sure.
Yeah. Carlos, do you think there's any? What do you think is the overlap?
There's an overlap that I thought of is that Nintendo and Microsoft is probably like, and this is kind of ties everything in a Venn diagram, but I would assume that at least this generation, the Xbox One and the Switch are a lot of people's secondary consoles. Since PlayStation currently has the most selling consoles, maybe Xbox and Nintendo is like a lot of people's secondary consoles. Other than that, there's obvious stuff like Skyrim. Now, Skyrim now is like connects to everything: PC, Xbox, both 2 generations of Xbox, 2 generations of PlayStation, and the Switch. But yeah, I don't see anything other than what everyone else mentioned.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I'd have to go with nostalgia because I feel like both consoles, well, both owners of consoles are living in the past, kind of, where currently they don't have anything to talk about. Rather, it's more like, oh, remember how great the GameCube was, or the N64 was, or remember how great Halo 2 was. It's not remember how great this current game is, or this current thing is. So, like, like Nintendo is sort of getting that with the Switch. Like 2017 was an amazing year for them, but so far, well, on the horizon, 2018 does not seem all that great for Nintendo. But who knows? They could surprise us with like finally that Pokemon game on the Switch, which people have been talking about. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. And the last question, not an official one because we have answered this before, but can answer it kind of quick here. Daniel J asks, "Do you think the PlayStation can sell 100 million units this generation?"
Hopefully not this year.
You don't want to lose that bet,
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, me and Tony made a bet that PlayStation 4 will, at least in my side, will not outsell PlayStation 3 at the end of this year. So
Yeah.
that's, what was it, like 86 million or something like
Yeah,
that?
86 million has to surpass 86 million, and it's at what is it now? 69 million, 70 million.
It
What
was
is
like
it?
at 70 something, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. We can't say any more on that, but yeah, the official numbers they put out there are 70 something million. So I think it's gonna happen this year because they sold 20 million last year alone, which is fucking insane.
Mhm.
If you look at the release, the game release list this year, I think they'll definitely do that.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
They'll probably get a Red Dead bundle and stuff too.
Yo, I mean, think about it. What do we have just this year, right? We have the aforementioned Days Gone. We got Spider-Man. We got God of War. It's murder, man. It's the murder machine. So yeah, it's definitely gonna top the PS3 this year. It's gonna be crazy. Now, but will it get 100 million lifetime sales? For the longest time I said no. I think I'm gonna have to say yes now. Just if it keeps this momentum going, I think it may very well do it. Maybe just 101 million. I don't know if it's gonna go crazy like the PS2. Definitely not gonna go with PS2 numbers, but I think it's gonna happen, man. I'm reluctant to say that, but I have to admit it. Just looking at the data, I'm like, yeah, I think Sony's gonna do it this generation, man. Within the next 3 or 4 years, yeah, it could happen.
You shouldn't be reluctant because, think about it. PS5 will probably come out 2019, 2020. I mean, we even talked about how it's probably going to come out 2020, not even 2019 anymore. I'm saying anymore because that's what we predicted. But yeah, so that's what 1, 2, 3 years where PS4 is the main console for Sony. Then they release the PS5 and they still sell those like in the cheap.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll do 100 million easy.
Yeah, I think so. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
They just have to maintain the sales of last year, like year over year, their sales have been growing. So even if their sales stagnated, they would still beat that number. They would be at let me see. No, well, they'll be close to it. They'd be close if it was stagnant. Like they'd be like 98, 99 million. So, and I doubt that they're going to be stagnant with the lineup they have this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Jones mentioned we forgot about Detroit, and we didn't forget about this game, Chris. But I'm pretty sure the people making it forgot about it. Shenmue 3.
That's right.
Oh man.
Listen.
have
I'm
been-
sorry, that shit ain't moving no systems, man. Let's just be
yeah,
real here.
I don't think Shenmue 3 is going to move any systems. I think it'll just be, I mean, if anything, at best, it'll probably do a little bit better or about as good as the original one. You know?
Shadow of the Colossus remake. God damn.
Now, Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Murder.
Maybe, here's the thing. Shadow of the Colossus did well enough when it originally came out, and it did pretty decent when they released the collection. I do feel like at this point in time, it is the most acceptable to general audiences that it could ever be. It's probably it's the prettiest it's ever looked. They adjusted the controls. It's essentially a semi showcase of the PlayStation Pro. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's a couple of quick fire questions here. I kind of like doing that too, like the main questions and some quick fire ones. Muyi00. I'm sorry if I'm saying your handle wrong there. Do you think Ghost of Tsushima is coming out this year? No.
No, I don't think so.
No way. And Hussein goes, did you guys see the review of Monster Hunter where the guy says it promotes Western colonialism? It's from Waypoint. Why am I not surprised? I knew somebody was going to say that shit too. I knew somebody was going to go, oh, it's Western colonialism, you know? Come on, man. Like, you have to inject this nonsense into every fucking game, you know?
See,
hold on, I go off on a rant. So you completely missed the whole part of like, hey, we just discovered new land. We're in this age of discovery. You completely dismiss the entire sense of adventure that comes with that. No, it's colonialism. Come on, man. Go ahead, Manny.
Yeah, it's sad that essentially you have these guys out there just kind of poo-pooing on all the fun that everybody's having. Everybody's having a good old time. I'm surprised fucking PETA hasn't come in and said, "Oh, this game is friggin' abusive animal, promotes the abusive animals, and blah blah blah." And it's like everybody has to throw their 2 cents, and they're fucked up 2 cents. It's just a fucking game. That's it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I'm just going to be honest right now. I'm glad I'm just being real. I'm glad it's a Japanese company that did this because, they won't give a fuck what these gaming journalists say, Look at all that heat Nintendo caught last year off of Zelda. Nintendo didn't give a fuck, Look at Nier Automata. They got shit all over the main girl. They didn't give a fuck, They
didn't give a fuck. You know why? Because they know that people don't, the most of the buying public, the people that buy these games, do not give an utter shit about what is going on in fucking social media. And that's what it is.
They also don't care what some dumbass Americans have to say. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, they don't care about that stuff because, again, like, people want to have a good time. Why are we getting into the minutia of all this? Bringing our reality onto these games. It's supposed to be an escape from your friggin' normal existence. Do we want to have every single game out there be like totally socially conscious?
That's what they
want.
That's what they want, though. They want every game to be real. It's like, no, you forget what escapist fantasy is, man. Come on.
Exactly. Just because it takes place in an alternate world, it takes place in all these little different worlds. Why can't we just go into another world and not have to deal with all the bullshit that exists in our own fucking world?
Bullshit like the guys making these statements.
Yeah,
God,
exactly.
Man. Yeah,
Come on,
I mean, I haven't, obviously, I
you
haven't
know
said,
what?
yeah, it's fucking dumb. I haven't said anything publicly about Waypoint, but they're one of those sites too. Like, I see this stuff, it just annoys the fuck out of me,
I'm gonna
man.
say this. I'm gonna say this out there to throw this out there. Every single one of these motherfuckers out there are always claiming all these games are all messed up and all this whatever. With all the complaining that these motherfuckers do out there, do they actually even sit down and play a fucking fun game? And what is their idea of a fun game?
Tetris.
Yeah, they'll find
Okay.
something to be offended by in Tetris too. Come on, guys.
It's insane, man. That's what I mean. They forgotten the core thing. Games, movies, whatever that are supposed to be escapist stuff. It's not,
Exactly.
not everything has to be socially conscious, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
not everything needs to be socially conscious. I think that sometimes a lot of people are tend to forget that sort of thing. Yes, it is important that if it is a part of the story where you feel that you need to inject a little bit in there. Yes, that's great, but at the same time, not everything needs to be that way.
Especially made by Japanese developers.
Go to Japan and see what their social norms are. It may seem fucking alien, and I'm sure that they're not throwing their own friggin' politics into the games.
Yeah.
No, they just want to make fun games. They want to make money.
And then the thing is that you look into a game like Nier Automata, right? Which it's not socially, it is semi-socially conscious, but it's essentially making fun of the stupidity of humanity.
By the way,
the key point of that game.
The way the article kills my brain cells reminds me of American colonialism.
Yo, these guys are insane, man. Everything has to be a fucking issue now.
It's just a bunch of people. It's just a bunch of people looking at the surface of something and just saying, okay, that's exactly what it is. It's not even made by an American company. American colonialism.
Yeah. I saw this dumbass article the other day saying, oh, how come Nintendo still has an answer for what they did to transgender people in Zelda last year? Nintendo don't give a fuck.
You mean, what did they do to transgender people?
Yeah, nobody has to answer to you. These guys all act entitled. They all want to feel powerful, that they get outraged at these things. And the best thing to do is exactly what Nintendo and Capcom does, is don't respond to them.
Yeah, pretend that they don't exist. Because you know what? Again, like, there are people who want to be, want to go to the movies. People want to read. People want to play games and not have to deal with the social minutia, whatever the hell is going on out there. Can any of you in our audience, you play video games because they're fun. You play video games to get away from the normal day. I remember people saying, back in the day, like, yeah, I love playing God of War. God of War is one of my favorite games because it gets that feeling out. Where, you're just beating the shit out of everything. Sometimes you want to beat the shit out of everything.
It's insane.
That's why I play Call of Duty. That's why I think a lot of people play Call of Duty.
Adam, that's problematic, bro.
Oh, shit, don't go there. I'm telling you, the day they attack Call of Duty is when all hell breaks loose.
You know what? The thing is that the day they attack Call of Duty, Activision will laugh in their fucking faces. That's how much what they're going to do.
I wish they attacked Call of Duty because they need blowback from all this bullshit they're freaking spewing out. The Call of Duty community will fight back.
Mm-hmm.
They would, yeah.
The thing is that, like, half the time, like, most of the people out there don't, I also think that a lot of the people that are screaming about all a lot of injustice that's out there, I do think it's a semi-minority. Like, all the things.
No, they're a very vocal minority.
Yeah,
they're a very vocal.
Affect sales. I mean, look what happened with the microtransactions and the Star Wars Battlefront. They were loud online, but didn't really impact too much. It's still number 2 in MPDs.
Yeah, so I definitely think that a lot of times when this sort of stuff happens, where people, I think in general, a lot of sites are looking for to get. They're not looking to really report news. They're looking to get you pissed off, no matter who you are, and click on that article and make them money. So that's why you get sensationalized, like titles, because they don't give a shit about. I feel like they don't give a shit about what you think or you don't think. They want to get you pissed, and
No,
they
because
want you to click on that.
remember, if you disagree with them, you're the problem. You know, you're an ist. You know, whatever ist you are, racist, misogynist, you're that. If you do not agree with them, they don't want to have a conversation with you. They want to tell you. They want to dictate to you. You know, you ever notice
Yeah, so
that?
don't have a conversation. Like, this is like arguing with children. You just don't do it because they're misinformed. They're very often just stupid, and they don't understand what they're talking about, and then they label you something. It's like, so the argument's only in one direction. I'm gonna make this statement, no matter how factually incorrect, and then I'm gonna say, if you disagree with it, that you are something awful. It's like that. No, that's what children do.
And it's an interesting thing how, like, you find that these, they demonize people for liking what they like, and isn't that the biggest? That is like the biggest wrong that anybody can really do. Like, why are you angry at a person who likes a specific game?
That's what people say with blow up dolls. So they're like, yo, this is what I love.
Oh, by the way, I'm not to get off topic. There was blowback about that too. They were saying, "Oh, that's too realistic. Men shouldn't be having that."
Oh well, one of the things is that thing has existed for years. And I mean, here's the thing.
Not with an ass like that.
The problem is that people just like to get into other people's business.
Yes.
In our free society, people love to judge people. And isn't that the whole what our at least the United States was kind of built off of, where you can go out there and do the things that you want to do. Obviously, if you're not murdering people.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting somebody.
And hurting somebody. Why can't you exist in a world like that? But the thing is that now that social media has become this place where they kind of crucify people for the things that people crucify each other for things that one person doesn't like. It's like, I like green. Well, I like fucking green.
Yeah.
It's like that sort of shit.
By the way, Damien brings up a good point. This is why we'll never have a new Golden Axe, because you can have a woman in a bikini, even though there's a guy in a Speedo. Great point. Yeah, man. Go ahead, man. Keep going. By the way, you guys are getting a taste of the shit we talk about after the show.
Yeah, we kind of talk a lot about this stuff, because it's kind of sad how everybody's getting all into like how this game isn't doing this, how this movie isn't doing that, rather than saying how actually entertaining the things that we enjoy are. If people were just paying attention to the things like, oh yeah, I really love this movie. Oh well, I don't like it. Well, that's okay. That's the way it is. But nobody can't not like the same things anymore. Like, in other words, you can't just go about your business and be like, hey, listen. I always say, hey, I love the Bouncer, right? I say that, in our current world, because the Bouncer was not a critically acclaimed game, and it was a game that got panned by the critics. I'm a stupid person.
Yeah, but it's better to be called a stupid person than a problematic person.
Yeah.
But you know what? If the Bouncer came out now, they probably would have said, "Oh, this game promotes this, that, or it beating up women or something."
Yeah, I mean, because you fight a couple of female villains in that game. Yeah, so yeah, it promotes the attack and beating of women, despite the fact that they're considered evil in this game.
Yeah. By the way, Damien, I kind of disagree with you. He says that he blames modern day gamers. They bitch about everything and not just play games. No, these guys aren't gamers though, bro. Gamers aren't complaining about this shit,
Gamer, yeah.
Like Voldemort is the main example, and you know who Voldemort is.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm gonna say the name.
Yeah, it's
the person who shall not be named.
It's sad.
Voldemort's nice.
Voldemort. Don't speak the name of Voldemort. Oh, I said it. No, yeah, it's sad that there's a lot of people that just outsiders, kind of coming in and judging what everybody likes and what they should and shouldn't like. That to me sounds like a communist society. And that isn't that what we kind of fight against? People trying to control other people's thoughts.
Not anymore.
But yeah,
your thoughts are problematic. They need to be controlled. That's the society we live in, man.
You know what that's called? It's called fascism.
That is called fascism.
Mm-hmm.
But we should just talk about games because this is getting too
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, let's get into it. But thank you for asking that question, and I made it now an official question because that shit is crazy. Also, Manny, that is a very tweetable quote. How about instead of complain about the things that make a game bad, talk about the things that make a game enjoyable.
Yeah, why not? Let's. But the thing is that the sad thing about video games, the sad thing about our world is negative things people automatically pay attention to. We're talking about fucking terrorism. We're talking about all this horrible shit that goes out there. All of it. We're watching this shit happen right in front of us, and we can't turn that shit off.
Yeah, you got to have it in games now. Got to have it in comics. Got to have it in TV. Everywhere. You can't get away from it now. Because you know what it is? Is these people don't have imagination. That's what it is.
I mean, we can't go on a journey. We can't go on a journey to an alternate world where friggin' ships fly around and people wear armor and there's an evil wizard and all kinds of silly, stupid stuff like that. No, we gotta talk about how socially conscious that the wizard is an allegory for a politician that currently exists. The war between this faction and this faction matches the faction of a war that happened 100 years ago. Come on, guys, seriously.
It's insane. Anyway, man, let's move on to some more questions. Fuck are we now? We actually, yeah, I think this may be a first time we've gotten the majority of our questions tonight from the live guys, which is pretty cool.
By the way, thanks a lot for the questions. They're really great questions.
All right, yeah, and by the way, Daniel J, you kind of passed your quota, bro. So go ahead, Carlos. What are you saying, man?
By the way, don't forget to leave questions in the comment section below so we can answer them next week.
Yeah, bitches.
Just have them early too.
Yeah, exactly. All right, D Truth, who's always a loyal live viewer, I guess I should call him. He's always here live.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Manny, I'm gonna toss this one to you first. Okay. What do you think? Ready at Dawn, makers of the Order 1886. What could their new game be, and what would you like to see from them?
They're in a weird place right now. The last game that they made was a VR game for Vive, right? Was it? I can't remember it. It was a crazy VR game, and it was touted for probably one of the best implementations of VR in a actual game. Like it has a full campaign, and you do all kinds of different things inside of it. I mean, I would say it's maybe kind of like a first-person point and click adventure. In a way where you have to find a thing, you have to fix this, you have to move that. There's puzzle-ish sections. I mean, I don't know what to. I would love to see. Here again, I liked the Order's 1886. Fucking sue me. All right.
It was fun.
I thought it was
okay. Good, because
game.
you took the words out of my mouth. Because what I want, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I want the Order 18. I want to see the Order 1887, man. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
I want to see it.
They teased that.
I want to see. Oh yeah, I mean they kind of teased it.
Remember with those emails out? No, but the emails. See, again, you guys weren't getting emails. They sent the video, and it was a guy typing saying that he found it, and it was from them.
I'm tired of hearing of those goddamn emails.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but he found it. But yeah, if they can get rid of that damn borders on the top and the bottom, then yeah.
I think they can learn. I think there's a lot of things they can learn from the previous one as far as the things that the concerns that people had but I mean it was a good start, and I feel like a lot of people did not give that thing a fair shake. But you know what? That's just my opinion. Apparently I like bad games because I like the bouncer. But yeah, I'd like to see them do a sequel to the Order 1886. I would. I mean, the biggest issue that I have to say about that game, and I hope they fix it, is my boy Galahad. He's a bit of a post. He's kind of a boring character. Everybody around him is more interesting than he is.
Seems like I thought it was Liam Neeson. He had that look.
I'm Liam Neeson. I don't know. It's like he goes from his transformation as a character, like from like being like, I'm the statesman, we got to do exactly what he say, and then it's going to be like, oh yeah, the state's kind of fucked up, isn't it? It's like, okay, it was a little bit of a hard sell. I would like to see, more fucking. Let's beat the shit out of more werewolves. Come on, punch them in the face.
But I want to see, and I also want to see dynamic werewolf transformations. Like I want to be shooting a guy, and then he'll fucking turn to a werewolf in the middle of a fight.
That would have been so cool. Like in Resident Evil, like Resident Evil
like Bloodborne,
5.
yeah.
Or like Bloodborne or Resident Evil 5, or where you beat the shit out of them long enough, and then all of a sudden they fucking freak out and turn into this big huge monster. That'd be so awesome. They just missed the boat on it.
Yeah, that's my answer. I want 1887, man.
Yeah, 1887. I mean, I told the main guy over there as much. I'm like, I'm a big fan of the Order 1886. I love that game, and I would love to see you guys go down that road again. So
I'll send you the email.
Ironically enough, like one of the other critically acclaimed games they developed were the PSP God of War games. But now God of War is going on a new direction, so I can't see them doing I don't know. I mean, I don't see them doing a Vita game, and let alone another God of War game, because I mean that's changing. So yeah, why not another Order in 1887 or something like that?
Oh, the Order was officially their first full-on big console AAA game. And that's the sad thing about it. It's like their first venture out into that after making games that are a bunch of games that are based off of other franchises and very good ones. They did a Jack and Daxter game, which was the Jack game. They did the Clank game. They did two God of War. They did two God of War games. They did a port of Okami. So it's like, they have a good lineage. And I do feel like and even this new VR game, I've heard a lot of really great things. I watched the playthrough because I'm not going to play VR, but it was an interesting story. And I mean, again, I would love to see them take on console development again. I'm just happy that they're still around doing stuff. I mean, usually when you hear these, nowadays it's everybody's all doom and gloom about games that don't do incredibly well. All of a sudden, you hear the companies closing down. They fire a bunch of people. Like we just talked about with Mr. David Jaffe.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? What do you want to see from Ready at Dawn?
Follow the Order. The Order Arkham City.
Yes.
I'd like to see maybe some like adventure games. Like I feel like the market is just lacking adventure games in general, which is kind of annoying. So at least then it's something that I think they can tackle, because I don't think they have too big of a team size, do they? It's like 20 people ish.
Yeah, they don't have like not 20, maybe about 100 people, I think.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't. They have a relatively small team for a AAA developer.
I'll rephrase my answer. I want to see them tackle something that they can accomplish with the team size, because I think that maybe the Order was a bit too
ambitious.
What's what I'm looking for? Yes, that's the one. Yeah, it was a bit too much for what they could handle, and I think that may have screwed them over. Maybe something that they can achieve with the team size, like kind of how what's his face, what's the one with Ninja Theory?
Hellblade.
Yes. Do something like a Hellblade size game. Again, it's a decently sized studio with a decently sized game, and they might have better success with that.
I almost feel like that the Order was somewhat like Hellblade. Like they didn't have. I don't know how many people they had in it, but it didn't have nearly as many people as like a God of War game. So, I mean, I do feel like in a lot of ways that game was maybe that, but like I always say at the same time, it's like with the Order 1886, if the game costs about as much as Hellblade, would people complain that much about it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, like Hellblade is balls to the walls. It's just a 6-hour experience.
Yeah.
And people still complained about it for a $30 game. What was it, 30 or $30 game?
Yeah, $30.
It's crazy. All right. In the last question here from Melon Matt. So when do you all think Spider-Man and Days Gone will release since God of War is coming in late April and Detroit is set for summer. So he's asking this because he's like, how are these games going to not overlap each other? You know what I'm saying? So when do we think would be a good time to release these games? Or the most realistic one? Because let's just, for those who don't know, God of War comes out on April 20th. Yes, that April 20th. And Detroit is during the summer. It could be July or August. Who knows? I say they should drop one of those games in March, so like, and then another one in maybe not May, after summer, but not during the fall. Don't release one during the fall. You know what I'm saying?
August, September ish.
Yeah, around that time, like late August, early September, you could release one of them. The thing is, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Days Gone is coming out this year. I haven't seen anything from that's letting us know this game's coming out this year. Have you guys seen anything? Because I haven't seen shit. I know Spider-Man's coming this year.
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything from Spider-Man since last year.
No, but I mean, we haven't heard definitive Days Gone is coming 2018. I haven't seen anything like that.
Everybody's kind of assuming
and
that.
Sony is, even though they haven't shown more gameplay, Sony is still constantly talking about Spider-Man. We haven't seen shit for Days Gone in a long time, So I don't know. If that game comes out, it'll be later this year. But Spider-Man, probably, I'm gonna guess the first half of the year.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man might come out May or June, because wouldn't that coincide kind of blockbuster season and Spider-Man is like based on a
and he's in Avengers.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking that, but then they have God of War then, and they've not talked about Spider-Man lots, so I'm more inclined to say the ass end of summer, so your September time.
Yeah,
and then maybe Days Gone at the start of summer, because that way Days Gone and Detroit are two different feeling games.
Yeah.
So they can stand well against each other, in my opinion. And again, the summer drought, it works well for Hellblade, so
I feel like for Days Gone, that's a Halloween game. They might release it in the October time.
That's a good time.
I think that they're going to release that then. I think I mean,
although Halloween time is also when Call of Duty and Madden and all those other games comes out, so that might be a problem.
That's November.
After November.
That's November. So
October 31st is Halloween. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but they don't come out until late November, the 20s on there.
Yes.
So.
Okay. You're right.
They could do a mid-October release for Days Gone if it were to come in there. For here's the thing, for a Quantic Dreams game, Detroit, I almost feel like that's a winter game, but they haven't said anything about it when the release date is.
They said, well, wasn't it summer?
Did they say summer?
I don't know. Someone said it here.
No, I mean, because
this guy said Detroit's the summer.
That's a weird place to play it. Here's the thing. I think about when I played a lot of the other previous games. I always felt like it was kind of cold. Kind of one of the what I call the indoor games. In other words, it's all story driven sorts of games. You have to sit there and pay attention sort of time. And I feel like during the summer, people are all raring to go and oh, I'm gonna go outside.
Or people are indoors in their air conditioning.
Yeah, think about that. But here's what was it? Metal Gear came out in August, right? One of the Metal Gear games. Is it 4?
No, 4 didn't come out in August. That came out earlier. That came out in June.
Yeah, what if they did it in that area?
They could. Late June.
What if it was there? Yeah, late June. I don't know.
Or they may toss out a game during E3. They've done that before.
Yeah. But do you think they would ever do a game a big game like that there?
They could. They did Infamous. I think they did 2 Infamous games during E3.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they could do it. I don't know. It's hard to speculate on release dates. It's not really. I'm just being honest. It's not much something I think about too much. Just tell me the release date, then I'll worry about it. Other than that, I don't really care.
Yeah, I feel like now, here's the thing. In general, I never gave a shit about new release dates. I feel like a lot of gamers and a lot of media people just give a shit about it too much.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, hey, listen, it's done when it's done. You know, unless they start doing crazy shit like releasing pre-orders like 2 years in advance. You know what I mean? Then that can be a problem. But it's like, guys, just be surprised. Be surprised when it comes. And that's what I do.
Yeah, I don't know. People get crazy over release date. There's even console word nonsense over release dates.
Well, what is it like? Who releases the most games on time?
Yeah, pretty much nonsense like that. No, because the recent thing is like the Xbox guys will make fun of Sony guys like, oh, your games, you don't even have release dates. Even though if you go back, Microsoft games have had the same deal. Same thing with delays. Like, we don't have any delayed games really. Quantum Break was fucking delayed. Sea of Thieves was delayed. Crackdown 3 was delayed. Come on, guys. You know?
Crackdown 3 is MIA. There's no date for that.
I feel like if they do decide to do another E3 on Crackdown, they're gonna come on, guys. We got we need to at least have Crackdown out now. What was it, 2012 that they announced
2013. Think about it like this: our first E3 that we went to, that's when they showed that shit.
Yeah, and
I still got the Crackdown shirt.
Yeah, I think I gave away mine for what is it, a contest. But
man, he's like, I don't want this Xbox trashed in my apartment.
No, I mean, to be honest, I feel like if it was, I wasn't going to be wearing it.
We do not sit next to these a scum.
No, because I'm not a person that likes having a video game text on shirts. I think they're kind of lazy. You know what I mean? Like if it had like a cool logo on it, like whatever the Crackdown logo is, I think that's a much cooler idea rather than just being lazy and writing like God of War. I'm like, oh, you have a God of War shirt that just says God of War across it?
Well, you have a Mario hat that just has an M.
The thing is that it's still a symbol. It's one thing. You see that M in a circle with the red, that's Mario, right? You see
or McDonald's,
or or you see the yellow, or you see the yellow arches. Like I would say a bit like if we're talking like marketing sorts of shirts, nobody wants to have a shirt that says fucking McDonald's, but people wouldn't be that mad about having the dumb arches on their chest, right? So that's exactly why I didn't care for the thing, like having a shirt that says Call of Duty across it. Like, if it had like some sort of cool thing on there, I thought it was like I bought a shirt for my girlfriend, which was a Call of Duty shirt, and it just had this cat on it that said "Go get him." I'm like, all right, that looks cool.
Oh, before I forget, Call of Duty. Got to do it at least once the episode. By the way, quick shout out to Logan Ryan in the chat who goes, hello, I'm new. I'm saying hello from Kansas. Brett is from Kansas, but he's not here tonight.
Why hello.
Hello. And also you have two names. Just throwing that out there. Logan Ryan, Ryan Logan.
It's a pretty awesome name, Logan Ryan.
Dude, Logan Ryan, that's the name of a Tom Clancy character, man.
It's a Tom Clancy character, or you would be like a badass video game character. I'm Logan Ryan.
I'm lost in the woods.
And I am the prototype.
What? Oh no! Don't say that.
Remember Ryan Mercer? Like, I'm Ryan Mercer.
I'm Ryan Mercer.
I didn't even like that stupid game that had his name stuck in.
Ryan Mercer.
Which one was the name, Brian?
Max Mercer.
Max Mercer, right?
Mercer.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. Alex.
Oh, Alex Mercer. Yeah, Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Mercer.
And
I enjoyed that game. It put an instant twist on the whole amnesia take. It wasn't just like, hey, I have amnesia. It's like, hey, I don't remember who I am. It's like plot twist because you're not who you are. Like it made sense.
Why?
Rather than just, oh, I have a headache and I can't remember who I am.
Well, yeah, no, that's always the excuse that every single game gives. It's like,
game was stupid.
I don't remember anything.
I got the platinum in that bitch too, even though I didn't like the game. And that game pissed me off because I was like, because it was made by the same people who made Ultimate Destruction. I'm like, oh my fucking god, it's gonna be nuts. Nah, not really. It was bad.
I remember telling you at the time. I'm like, yeah, it was made by the, you're like, yeah, it's made by the Ultimate Destruction guys. I'm like, so that automatically makes it this game gonna be the best thing ever.
I didn't say the best thing ever, but it got me hyped because I'm like, I love love those mechanics. They were in there, but
I'm Alex Mercer.
I'm Alex Mercer.
I'm so glad that we've gotten over the Solid Snake gruff guy voices.
Hold on, this guy. Okay, you're trolling right now. He says his name is Logan Michael Ryan. You have 3 names, bruh.
That's not good. That's serial killer status right there.
He goes just like the Patriots football. I don't watch football, so I don't know if that's a real name or not. Yo, that's like me being called Tony Richard.
What?
Adam, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Tony Richard Adam. Literally people that we know.
That's how imaginative I am, man. Mace
Yo, man,
Griffin.
you a writer?
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm not a creative writer. I just regurgitate news. I'm a news monkey. You know. Is that racist? I'm a monkey because I am part African. Yo, shit is crazy, man. All right. Good show tonight. Again, thank you guys for actually making the show. It would have been half an hour if it wasn't for you guys in the chat. So thank you, man.
Yeah, you know? and I think I was channeling Brett.
Yeah, well, Well, I'm glad you got that out there because you say a lot of that shit off air. So it was nice to see you get heated on air. You know, you're like a Vulcan. You know, you don't show a lot of emotion. Oh,
hey,
man.
there are a few things that get me emotional, and thought control gets me emotional.
As it should. You know,
I don't like just like everybody out there. Nobody wants to be told what they can and can't like.
Man, all right. So we will see you. Oh yeah, a couple things. Okay, trying something different out. So this afternoon I uploaded a little clip of me, Manny, and Carlos playing Monster Hunter. It was like a 20-minute clip from like a really funny section. So I'm gonna try that because obviously no one's gonna rewatch a 2-hour stream. So I'm like, if anything cool happens, I'll take it out and put it out there and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like highlights and shit. Thank you, Logan Ryan, for subscribing to us on YouTube. You know,
thanks a lot, man.
There you go.
Yeah, you'll see me getting fucked up by the Diablos and screaming. Dude, I was playing with some Japanese guys too. That was an interesting part right there. You know,
it's interesting hearing you play because it's literally like, oh fuck, it's like.
Yeah, because what happened was,
like this every fucking time.
Yeah, because what happened is like, okay, I was playing my own game and Manny and Carlos were doing their own thing, so they just heard me screaming over stuff, you know.
Yeah. Like jump on the door.
Later, Young Savage, yeah, that's how I ended off the video because I go, man, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah. And then, actually, no, the last thing before I faded out, I was like, fuck this game. By the way, Torrance watched it because he was like, what do you mean you're breathing like Torrance?
That's at least what somebody in the chat said.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I'm like, I'm breathing like Torrance. That's the first thing that came into my head.
Oh, God.
Reggie said he's breathing loud, and Tony's like, I'm breathing like Torrance.
Yeah, Shinovsky, we'll get into Monster Hunter, man. So we're gonna play some more Monster Hunter on Friday and Saturday. Hopefully everybody will be kind of on the same page because it's a little hard playing that game when people are like lower level and higher levels and stuff. There's a lot of me just kind of walking around that hub world and stuff, you know. We got to get into the action fast.
Yo, man, that's what we call first world problems.
Yeah, that is first.
And not everybody got their game like a week or two before the damn game came out.
No, it's not that though. It's like even you and Carlos weren't exactly super on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody will be on the same page soon. By the way, you want to know about first world problems? First world problem is thinking that a game where you kill monsters is talking about colonialism. That's first world problems. You know. So yeah, more Monster Hunter for you guys. You know, over the weekend it'll be fun. You know. So that's it. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us a questions in the comment section of this episode here on YouTube or over on the Coalition. And we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. Sound joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys. Yeah, don't forget to hit that little bell on the top corner. You know, just in case YouTube does has that little thing where they
bottom.
You
mean bottom?
The bottom. Yeah, they don't like to tell you whenever we're on. And the other thing is, if you're into Coheed and Cambria and Amory Wars, which is the comic book that I work on. The newest issue is going to be coming out this Wednesday.
Chris
Thanks,
Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Go watch anime now.
Brian Manjoma,
Life lesson: never steal. The government hates competition.
and Adam Vale.
Have a good night, everybody. Get ready for the new week.
You know,
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, man. All week predicted everything. That's nothing. On Friday Night WrestleCast, we got all our predictions. We called this whole card. You would think that we were cheating and that we knew somebody in the inside. We
yeah,
had
insider
every single
trading.
match.
You know, like Martha Stewart
Insider
and shit.
trading. We all knew it. We knew every single. God damn, it's crazy. Dana knows what I'm talking about.
That's funny. All right, man. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Yes.